Hi, I'm Vicki, and this video is about how to pre-plan and pre-prep your food for successful weight loss. I am going to switch this here, and let's move this up here and make it just a little smaller. There we go. Now you'll be able to see everything. So I said I'm Vicki. I am a nurse practitioner. I'm a certified health coach as well as an independent Beachbody coach. I'm also somebody who, even though I like to work out, I'm a runner, I have struggled with my nutrition. So this has been my secret weapon for staying on track and for actually getting some optimal results. So let's get started with this here. So why should you pre-plan and pre-prep? It seems like it takes a lot of time, it's a lot of work, people don't tend to like to do it. But in reality, it's going to save you time, because when you're not having to do this every single day, when you're not having to think about what am I going to eat every single day and to take the time to plan it and prep it every single day, in the long run, it actually saves you time. It also is going to save you money, because if you're like me, let's face it, you know this happens. You go to the grocery store, you buy all this healthy food, you put it in your fridge, it gets to be the end of the week, and you look in there and it's starting to get moldy and gross and old, and so you throw it out. So you're wasting money on food that you didn't even eat. So by pre-planning and pre-prepping, we're going to eliminate that from happening. The last thing is, this is going to keep you on track. When you have everything set out in front of you, you know what you need to eat, you're going to eat it. You're going to. It's just going to happen. So it makes it much simpler, much, much simpler. So the first thing you need to do is to figure out, what's your food plan? What are you doing for your food plan? Are you somebody who counts calories? And that's okay. You can use, one of the trackers to count your calories and all that stuff. You may be even dividing it into macros, so your proteins and your carbs and your fats, and that's fine if you want to do it that way. You totally can. If you're doing like a Weight Watchers type program, you might be counting points. That's totally fine too. None of those really worked for me. I've done those, I've tried them, they didn't work for me. What finally worked for me was the 21-day fix container plan. And this is it's a fitness program, but it comes with a whole nutrition plan. And basically it breaks down food into different groups, and there's different containers for different groups, and they tell you how many of each container to eat every day based on your calorie range that you're in. So for example, for me, I am allowed to, for my plan, it's 3 veggies, it's 2 fruits, it's 4 proteins, it's 2 carbs, it's 1 seed, oil, dressing type thing. I do seeds because I don't like dressing. 1 healthy fat or cheese, and then 2 teaspoons of nut butter or oil or something like that. That works for me because it's simple. I can handle this. I don't have to calculate points or calories. If it fits in that container or it fits within the guidelines that I'm given, I can make it work. So let's get to the pre-planning part, now that we've talked about like figuring out your food plan. So the first thing I do for my plan is to figure out, when am I eating out? Whether it's a date night, a family dinner, a networking lunch, I'm meeting somebody for lunch just to catch up, I figure that out first. And then those get written in my plan. And so this is like, I always start with kind of writing it out on paper first. It works better for me. So I have the different things where I'm going to be eating out. And my goal for that is to always have a protein, P, a carb, C, and a veggie, V. So I always try, and at each one of my meals that I eat out, to plan something that is going to have a protein, a carb, and a veggie with it. And you just have to be smart. For me, I know what I can and can't have to stay in my plan. I sometimes will look up the menus ahead of time to figure out what exactly I'm going to order, so that there's not guesswork and I'm not tempted by something that's not on my plan. So then the next thing I do, once I know what meals I'm eating out, is I actually go shopping in my own kitchen. So I open up the fridge, I open up the freezer, I open up the pantry, and I figure out, what do I already have that I want to use rather than buy more. So I try and use up what I already have on hand and to plan meals around that so that I don't end up throwing out and wasting food. So here's another place where you can save money, is to start by shopping in your own house. Once I know that, I will start to kind of plan out my meals. Now, I like to start with my proteins. So I will look like in my freezer or my fridge and go, what do I have on hand? This particular week, I had some freezer meals that I had prepped at a freezer meal workshop, and they had turkey and chicken in them. So when I was planning my meals, I went ahead and was going to make those meals up, but there was going to be enough there for 2 meals. So I decided to have turkey on Monday and Wednesday for dinner, and then the chicken one on Tuesday and Thursday for dinner, and then a whole separate chicken on Sunday as part of our Sunday family dinner. The other thing I did was, because I was going to have protein on my lunches out, I sometimes like eggs. They're really healthy. They're really nutritious. They have all your amino acids in them. So I planned for eggs on Thursday and Friday for lunch, a lean grass-fed burger on Saturday and Sunday. And then I'm a huge fan of Shakeology. My nutrition, like I said, wasn't always really on track. And I make sure that I have Shakeology every day just because it gives me the nutrients I need, and I feel better when I drink it. So that's kind of how I plan my proteins out. And because I need a 4th protein, I went ahead and had yogurt added as my snack. So a Greek low-fat yogurt, plain Greek yogurt, for me anyway, as my snack in the afternoon. I tend to get hungry later in the day, so adding a protein later in the day works for me. Then I fill in all my veggies, my carbs, my fruits, and the rest of it. So let's take a look at that. So I usually start with my veggies because they're the hardest for me to get in, and I needed to get in 3 veggies. So I like to hide veggies in my shake. It's a great place to hide them. I'll buy pureed veggies, like the baby food veggies. I'll buy those and stick them in. I'll sometimes stick some spinach in there. And then I added a vegetable with my dinner, as well as each day I will have a vegetable with my lunch. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'm having a vegetable. I needed to add in 2 fruits. So I'm going to have apples in my morning snack, and then some fruit mixed in with my yogurt in the afternoon. And then I added in some carbs. I get 2 carbs. So a carb with lunch and a carb with dinner is typically what I do. And then I added in some peanut butter to go with my apples and some almonds later in the day. So basically I go through and I make sure that I'm covering all my basics on getting all my containers in. So then I usually type it all up so it's nice, and I actually stick this on my refrigerator so that I have no doubt what I'm supposed to eat for each meal and each snack. It makes it super simple, really, really simple. So here I know what I'm supposed to eat, but now comes I've got to get all this food. So what I do is I take a look at that, and based on what I already have in my kitchen, I'll make my grocery list of what do I need to buy so that I can actually pre-prep all these meals. So I will look at what is my plan and what do I need to cover all of those meals, and go buy those foods all at once so that I can pre-prep and have everything ready to go. So the next thing I do is I usually do that on Saturday. I'll go get my groceries. And then on Sunday, we'll actually cut stuff up and actually pre-cook a lot of it. So this particular time, I pre-cooked the chicken. I pre-cooked the turkey. I was having butternut squash, so that was cubed up, and I pre-baked it. I was going to have some potatoes, so I pre-cut those and pre-baked them, as well as some potato wedges that I don't have pictured here. But I divided everything up and measured it using my cups, and that way I knew I had the right portions. The next thing I did was to then put those into containers and lay them out as my meals. So this is 5 days worth of meals here. I did do Saturday and Sunday. There's just not room to put them in the picture here. So, I mean, I laid out exactly everything I was going to eat because I was going to divide avocado between different days, and I don't like to cut it too far ahead of time because it tends to turn brown. I did wait and cut that the first morning and then divided it up the rest of the days. But everything was kind of pre-set up so that literally I could put the lids on all of this and put it in the fridge and know that I could just grab the next meal I went ahead and put out here just so that you could see like the days that I was also going to eat out, so you don't think I'm skipping a meal there. These little black containers are fabulous. You can get them on Amazon. If you, I'll give you my email at the end, or you can comment in the comments, and I will actually send you the link for where I found those. They're great. They have a lid that snaps onto them. They're microwave safe. They're BPA free. They cannot go in the oven. And they're top rack dishwasher safe, although I like to hand wash mine. So even like my almonds, my apples, everything was divided up and put in baggies. So it's literally grab and go, super duper simple. So let's take a look at just like one day's worth here where I'm not eating out. So divided among all of these meals here, this is a full day's worth of meals. I'm going to eat all of this, and believe me, some days it seems like a lot, and I'm not, some days I get to this afternoon snack and I'm just not hungry. But it comes out to 4 proteins, 3 veggies, 2 carbs, 2 fruits, a healthy fat, a serving of nut butter, and a serving of nuts. That's what's in my plan. And that totally matches up with what's in the 21-day fix plan for me. So really super simple to have it all laid out for myself here. And that way I can literally just reach in the fridge or the pantry or wherever the food is at for that particular meal or snack and just grab whatever's next without even having to think about it. And this is great for, think about it. You have that day at work, it's a really long day, you're crabby, you're hungry, you're tired, you don't want to cook. I had one of those days, believe me. And I came home and I knew that in 2 minutes I was going to have this meal warmed up and ready to eat. So there was no need for me to go through the drive-through or to just eat junk because I had that meal ready to go. It completely saved me, because if I hadn't had that, I very well might have gone through the drive-through, even though I would have regretted it later. And this is what I always remind people. It's so easy to get your workouts in. Like, people are really good about getting their workouts in, but getting their nutrition on track is so much harder. It's hard to control what's going on your plate those other hours of the day if you're not pre-planning and pre-prepping. And I've worked with countless people, and the one thing that they finally come to realize when they get their nutrition on track is you really can't out-exercise a bad diet. If you're not eating well, you can exercise a ton, but you're not going to get the kind of results you will if you really get your nutrition under control, which is why I started pre-planning and pre-prepping my meals, because I was this person. I was trying to out-exercise a bad diet. I thought that if I went and did my 10-mile run to get ready for my half marathon, I could eat what I wanted that day. And trust me, I wasn't seeing results. But when I really got my nutrition under control, and the only way I can do that is with pre-prepping and pre-planning, that's when I really started to get some great results. So if you're in one of my groups and watching this, you can totally stop the video right now. If you are not in one of my groups and you want more info, you want more help, I offer a free 5-day healthy eating jumpstart where we teach this plan, and I guide you through, and I actually help you create your own plan. And that's a free group that I offer. I also offer a monthly challenge group, and in that we use either the 21-day fix, the 21-day fix extreme, or Insanity Max 30, because they all use the containers. That's what I prefer for people to use. You can get the container system separate, but I like for people to use that because I know it works. And the other systems, I've worked with people using them, and they tend to struggle. And when they finally switch over, that's when they really kind of get control of their eating. And if you're interested in doing what I do, which is coaching, I do offer a coaching mentoring program. I only take 2 or 3 people every month because it's very intensive, and I want to be able to work with you one-on-one on helping you learn how to help others and how to coach others. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you take this information and use it, and know that you can comment below, and I will get with you on helping you get into one of my groups or my mentoring program, or if you want information on where I got my containers, comment below and I'll get you that information too. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time in watching this. Have a great day.